Congratulations to all the inductees here tonight. There's some old friends that have been up here, and it's great to see them. A lot of you don't know, but we had, there's 8 children in our family, 8 brothers and sisters. There's 5 of us still around, and they're all here tonight. So I'd like to say thank you for coming. Please stand up. And Diane and Marion and Norm, Larry, and me, that's 5. I'd like to thank Tim Bellamy for putting forth the effort to have me inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he did a tremendous amount of work this winter in putting everything together for me. Appreciate that. We've all had mentors in our lives, and a lot of people have said that I've mentored a lot of people, and believe me, there's been a lot of people that have mentored me as well, and we all need them. Through the late 60s, my brother Larry, my sister-in-law Marilyn, the Kellys, Steel City Riders, all brought me up into the sport. The Steel City Riders here tonight, and I still remember, I reminded the club president that I'm an honorary member since I was 14, just so I don't have to pay my membership fee. I remember driving to Quebec when I was probably 12 years old with some racers that were from Steel City Riders. At that time, they were called the Flying Midgets. And going down the 401 up to Quebec, we always drove up there 3 or 4 times a year to race. I was always watching. And we couldn't understand why all the people on the highway kept looking in the car as they went by. There were, as usual, there were 6 bikes on the trailer, open bed trailer, 6 or 7 people in the car. And these people kept looking at us as they passed us going up the 401 towards Kingston. Finally, we recognized that it was because the sign on the side of the trailer said the Flying Midgets. So as I was 10 or 12 years old, they put me on my knees looking out the side window at the people as they went by with my eyes, and they would wave and I would wave at the people going by, so they all saw the Flying Midgets. And then we had, the family moved to Niagara Falls. We had Carl's Cycle Shop for a number of years, and from that experience, I certainly recognize the tremendous amount of work that motorcycle dealers have to do in putting up with all of the motorcycle consumers and customers. Somehow we got through that, and a big thing at that time was that we went to the International 6 Days Trials. Our first experience was in Poland in 1967. It was a communist country at that time. And what we learned from going to that event was don't drink the water and don't drink vodka with a bunch of Russians the night before the race. It was okay to do that in those days. That was not acceptable these days, but that was fine. And of course, at that, all through the 6 days efforts, in Poland, Germany, and Spain, Bill Sharpless, the Kellys, George Kirkpatrick, Brother Larry, Bobby Fischer, all tremendous supporters of what we did during that time. And then on to Kawasaki in the fall of 1969, the Manleys hired me to go to Kawasaki Motorcycles. John Clare, a dealer in Fawn Hill, bought my shop. Thank you, John. And I was allowed to go to Toronto and work at Kawasaki, and they were dynamic times in motorcycling. The whole concept at that time among the Japanese was volume, not profits. They really didn't care about profits, they just wanted volume. So they allowed us to do a lot of really neat things. And that was when motorcycling really took off in Canada, from probably 20,000 units in those days to 100,000 units a year by 1980. Lots of mentors there with the Manleys, Trevor Dealey, even though he was our competition. Great friends in racing, Bill Sharpless, Clive Kelly, Bobby Fischer, all the Euros, Heikki Ullinen, Jan-Erik Selquist, Jorma Rautiainen, Jay Kimber, the Americans, Eddie Cole, who went on to Answer Products, Jeff Wecker, Brad Lackey, Cliff White, who just left Honda as race team manager. Great friends during those years. I left Kawasaki because the Japanese were coming in, and up until that time, we Canadians had pretty well control of our market and what was going on. And I went to Cycle Canada magazine, which I had worked with George Kolesnikovs, who started the magazine in the early 70s, and took with me the idea for a series of national consumer motorcycle shows, which we ran very successfully from 1977 till 1984, when the motorcycle industry took them over. After that, we went up to Moto Park, and in 1980 started the Toronto Supercross, which Brian Miles, Martin Levesque, and myself ran for 17 years through 1996. We also went out west to do Calgary and Edmonton with Doug McRae, now of Blackfoot Motorcycles in Calgary. And that was a great career, but the market kind of dried up in the 90s, as everyone knows. And returned back to Moto Park. And now we've been at Moto Park for the last 20 years or so with my Moto Park family, Gord, Loretta, Kristen, who are all here tonight. Appreciate them coming. And it's been a great ride, as someone else said here. Certainly enjoyed it. And right now, concentrating on the Motocross of Nations and Canadians riding international motocross, as well as our efforts at Moto Park. Thank you very much.